Okay, this is a reaction video. This is another from Girl Gone London. This is 7 ways British and American bathrooms are very different. Now, I really am not a fan of the way the Americans' bathrooms are. Now, I don't know if she's talking about home bathrooms or if she's talking about bathrooms at the airport and things like that. Now, I didn't really use the facilities a whole lot when I was there. I think I used the facilities when I was at Stonehenge and at the stadium, Arsenal, at the Emirates Stadium. Other than the bathroom at the hotel that I stayed at, which was actually very, very nice, and probably one of the best bathrooms I've ever had the pleasure of using. But let's see what she has to say about this.
If you've ever traveled between the UK and the United States, one of the most unexpected things you might have noticed is just how different the bathrooms are. Spend even a couple of hours in either country and you'll realize that from the plumbing to the light switches to the basic terminology that we use, bathrooms in the UK and the USA each have their own unique quirks. Now let's start with one of the most discussed and obvious differences, and that is the taps, or faucets as we say in the US. In the US, almost every sink, whether it's in a bathroom or in a kitchen, has a mixer tap. That is a faucet with a single spout where hot and cold water blends together. You turn a single handle or two separate ones, but the water always comes out of the same place. In the UK, however, you can still find two separate taps, one for hot.
Now, I didn't have that when I didn't see that in Britain. I know they have that, but I didn't see that. I saw the one tap. I mean, my hotel had one tap. At the stadium at Arsenal, I think they had one tap. But again, I know they do have those in Britain.
Water and one for cold water. If you want warm water, your choices are to keep kind of switching your hands between the two streams. You can plug the sink and mix the water in the sink, or just deal with it. This is a difference that often baffles Americans because we're just not used to it, but there's a
It doesn't really baffle us. If I were into that, I would just understand, okay, this is hot. It wouldn't really baffle me. It's just, okay, that's how you do it, that's how you do it.
Historic reason behind it. Older UK plumbing systems draw hot water from a separate tank, usually stored in the loft, and cold water from the main supply. Mixing those directly is a contamination risk, and even though plumbing standards have modernized, the design has stuck around in some homes and businesses. Next up, the toilet. Toilets look similar on both sides of the Atlantic at first glance, but the mechanics around using them is different. In the US, most toilets use a siphon jet flushing mechanism. When you flush, water rushes from the tank into the bowl with pretty considerable force, creating that very distinct and often loud sound of an American toilet flushing. It uses quite a bit of water, around 1.6 gallons, which is about 6 liters per flush in modern toilets, though older ones can use even more. British toilets tend to use a different system called a drop valve, or...
Now, I didn't really notice that much of a difference, and maybe I wasn't paying attention. Maybe I really wasn't thinking too much about it. But, it seemed loud enough to me, but again, it was just a flush. It's not a flush of toilet. It's not something I think about, like, oh my God, this thing flushes differently than my toilets in America or something like that. But,
flapper mechanism, and many of them come with dual flush buttons. You'll usually see two buttons up.
No, that's actually a toilet that I actually have in my house. That right there, what you're looking at on the screen, is my toilet down here, right here, has that. You have the one on the left, I think, is for number 1, and the one on the right is for number 2.
On top of the tank, and it's all about water conservation. The UK, with its older infrastructure and higher water costs in many areas, have placed a much stronger emphasis on reducing water usage. One other thing that confuses Americans is that we often find it strange that British toilet bowls have less standing water in them.
Again, it doesn't confuse us at all. Okay, to be fair, it really doesn't. When you're in a different country, it's like when in Rome, do as the Romans do. It's the same when in London, do as the Londoners do. It's the same thing. It doesn't baffle us. It doesn't confuse us. I mean, I realize I'm speaking for a whole bunch of Americans who've gone over to Britain before, but it really doesn't baffle us. I don't know why she says that, but again, like I said, it's just, okay, it is what it is.
Based on how their toilets work, the water level in the bowl is considerably higher. In the UK, it's lower, and this changes the way that the system works and flushing sounds. Now, here's a surprise for many Americans visiting the UK. We wonder, where are the outlets in the bathroom? In the US, every bathroom has at least one standard outlet, typically 120 volts, often located near the mirror or the sink. You use it to plug in electric razors, toothbrushes, hair dryers, etc. These outlets are usually GFCI protected, meaning they'll shut off automatically if water is detected. This is a safety feature built into modern building codes. But in the UK, the rules are
Funerals cost 15 grand. Do your loved ones have that kind of money? I know mine don't. But if you're seeing this,
I really didn't notice that because I don't really use a lot of electronic devices in the bathroom. So I really didn't know. Now, I'm sure there weren't. Again, like I said, I brought an adapter because I had to bring an adapter, and I only used it for my computer in the hotel room. But yeah, that is something I really didn't pay much attention to. But I guess if I had, I would have noticed it because I didn't pay attention to that. But fair enough.
The only outlets or sockets allowed in a UK bathroom are specially designed shaver sockets or shaver points, which are usually mounted into the wall somewhere near the mirror. And these are meant only for electric shavers or toothbrush chargers. If you want to use a hairdryer or a hair straightener in the UK, you're probably doing it in your bedroom, not your bathroom. Now, here's something that you probably wouldn't expect to be a cultural divide of something found in a bathroom, and that is deodorant. But believe it or not, even the way people in the UK and the US think about deodorant is different. In the United States, the clear favorite is solid stick deodorant. Walk down any
Yeah, that's what I use. I use solid stick. That's what I normally use.
American pharmacy aisle, and you'll be greeted by row after row of solid sticks, often with twist-up applicators. For me, this is just what I always thought deodorant was. I had no concept that there were other options until I moved to the UK. Because contrast that with the UK, sprays and roll-on deodorants are...
Yeah, sprays and roll-ons are also available in the United States, but it's just the sticks are generally preferred. It's just how US does it. But I've used sprays before. I've used roll-ons before. They're all perfectly fine.
Much more commonly used. You can still find stick deodorant, but they're far from the norm. British bathrooms often feature aerosol cans of deodorant, both standard sprays and dry sprays. Roll-on is also very popular, which applies a liquid formula via a small rolling ball, and it looks like this. Speaking of...
Yeah, again, you have those in America too. A lot of people, I don't know people that use them because I really don't pay much attention to other people who use the bathroom, but I do know that I've seen people buy them. You do have those in the United States as well.
Now, closely related to the electricity issue is the matter of light switches. In the US, you walk into a bathroom and you hit the wall switch. Easy. In newer buildings, that switch might also control a fan as well as the light. This is just what we're used to. In the UK, however, it's common to find the light switch outside the bathroom.
Now, that was something that I found different because I stayed at the Park Plaza Hotel on Riverbank, and there were two, and it was outside. It was outside, like she said. There were two panels. One was outside, and the other was on the desk in the main bedroom. And you pushed. I had to push all of them to figure out which one was which. But once I got it. Okay, and she's right. Yeah, on the outside, you push a button, and that turned on the light in the bathroom, and you push it when you leave. That it like I said, it took me a while to get used to it, but about maybe 10-15 minutes. But once I figured out which button to press, it made sense.
Door, and that's what people here are used to. If there is a switch inside, it's often a ceiling-mounted pull cord. You just reach up and give it a pull. Sometimes it makes a satisfying click. Now, why these differences? Again, it comes down to safety. UK building codes are very cautious about minimizing the risk of electric shock in bathrooms. Wet hands and electricity/light switches don't mix. So
But to be fair, it's not really that big of a deal. I mean, because my on-off switch is inside the bathroom. Okay, and usually I turn it on when I go in to take a shower, and when I'm done with the shower and I leave the bathroom, it's usually the light is still on. Okay, and I dry myself off, I get dressed, I go back into the bathroom, and I'm all dry, and I turn it off. So that's, again, so it's really not, I'm sure most Americans do it that way as well, but again, like I said, I understand why England does it that way, or why the Brits do it that way, and it makes perfect sense. I mean, I don't think there's a right way or a wrong way for either way.
The idea is you're less likely to electrocute yourself with a pull cord or by turning on the light before you enter the room. Again, to American visitors, this can be confusing when you instinctively look for that wall switch next to the door inside the bathroom that just isn't there. Now let's talk about the actual bathing part of the bathroom. In the US, it's very common to have a combined bathtub and shower with a curtain rod and shower curtain. Standalone showers are definitely found, especially in mass.
Now, yeah, when I was at the Park Plaza Hotel, you walked into and onto the right there was a shower. Okay, it was a shower. There was a toilet. There was the sink with the mirror, and to the left there was a tub, which was a partial shower and bath. Okay, that's how it was. So it was different, but I enjoyed it. Like I said, it worked both ways. I can understand why they have it set up that way.
Your bedrooms, but in many homes, especially in suburban or older ones, the tub shower combo is kind of the default. Hot water is provided via a central water heater, whether that's gas or electric, and you get hot water from any faucet in the house. In the UK, the setup is a little bit more varied. Many homes have a bathtub with a handheld shower head, often mounted to the wall, sometimes not. In some bathrooms in the UK, the shower is not powered by water pressure alone, but instead uses an electric shower unit. These units heat water on demand, independent of the home's boiler or water heater. It's efficient and ensures you never run out of hot water, but it can mean lower pressure and temperature limits at times. American bathtubs also tend to be shorter to the ground than British ones, and oftentimes shorter lengthwise as well when it comes to the usable space within the bath. This is one of the most
Not at the hotel that I was at, but again, like I said, it looked like it was a modern hotel. It was a much more modern hotel, and again, it's been a while since I've been there, so I really don't remember. But I didn't use the tub at all. So, but she may be right.
Confusing aspects of all, because on the average, Americans are larger than Brits, so surely they would need this space more. But no. The British have it right when it comes to bathtubs. They're bigger and more spacious. And let's not forget that Americans and Brits often don't even agree on what to call the bathroom.
Well, look, we call it a restroom. You guys call it toilets. I get that. I don't have a problem with either way. Restroom, toilet, it makes no difference to me.
In the US, bathroom is a universal term, whether or not it has a bath. If there's a toilet, sink, maybe a shower, it's a bathroom. Public bathrooms, same term, no baths. In the UK, bathroom usually implies a room with a bath or a shower, which makes sense. If it's just a toilet and a sink, it's more commonly called a toilet, WC, or even a cloakroom.
Again, it makes no difference what you call it, okay? Americans call it bathroom, whether there's a bath in there or not. It's just what we've gotten used to and what we've done. Again, in England, it makes no difference to me what you call it. Okay, the toilet, the bathroom, the restroom, whatever. It makes no difference.
For casual speech, you might hear the word loo. People will know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I've heard the loo. I watched a TV show called Coupling, and they said the loo. I know what the loo means.
About if you ask to use a bathroom in the UK, one Americanism that is definitely not heard as much is restroom. And that works in America similar to the word bathroom, so again, we're kind of looking for the toilet, but we don't say toilet like that. Now that brings me to the end of this video. I hope you learned something new.
Yeah, please click like, share, and subscribe for Girl Gone London, as well as for me. I would appreciate it. Fantastic video as always by her. Again, please click like, share, and subscribe for her as well as for me. I would appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching.